Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 3 versus 3 on Brest West, and I'm going to be playing with the 1st Fallschirmjäger. I wanted to share this game with you guys today because a couple weeks back now there were quite a few changes to the Fallschirmjäger divisions, mainly in how the Fallschirmjäger was set up with different weapons. So we'll be able to go through that in today's game as I'll show off all of the different ones that I bring in. But let's just have a quick look at the units that we're getting down at the start. So on the left here we've got some grenadiers. We've got the Fallschirmjäger with the FG42s and the Grenadier there, Pack 40 that's going to be off to the right hand side here to cover off the road, SDKF Z72, 4AA and a Jagdpanzer that's going to be able to sit on the road and hopefully deal with any Cromwells that might be causing me issues, although the Pack 40 here already engaging the recon Cromwell of Saethor. We have the Fallschirmjäger, some Fallschirmjager and the Pupschen moving through the heavy cover here. Pack 40 deployed further back that can help deal with any units that come down this road and also units that potentially come down this road, but usually it would be this road because they come down this road here and then turn to the left and then drive down to the crossroad. Grenadier in this building just to make sure that we hold onto that if things go wrong in this heavy cover. We've got a Gren that pushed into, basically pushed the front line into this sector area over with all of these trees. And on the right hand side, Fallschirmjager with the Fallschirmjäger with the FG42 and the Grenadier, another Pack 40 further back, again covering the road. So we're off to a decent start. We got the 1711 at the beginning, but starting to engage now the infantry of Saethor. He's got the FO Fusiliers against my Grens. At this range, not able to use the MG42 of the Grenadier, so the FO Fusiliers actually doing a decent job because they can use their FM24 at close range. I'm actually just going to bring in a BF109 G6 BR21 here so that we can get those 210mm rockets on target, and then I'm going to be looking to engage any other infantry with the main gun there. On the right hand side, Fallschirmjäger going to be engaging the Streltsy, Fallschirmjager finding Sapperger at close range. Nice thing about the Fallschirmjager is they're equipped with the 2 Berettas, 3 FG42s, and all of these units can be, all of these guns can be fired at close range, including the Bren actually, and they have a Molotov on top of that. So really good firepower at close range, and once you make the enemy unit move, then they're going to take even more damage because they don't have the entrenchment bonus. So here really getting the better of the Sapperger. A 150 meter range, they're no longer in cover as well, so this is Taki's infantry here getting taken apart. You see, I also used the smoke of the Grenadier to make sure that the M5 half-track did not get the kill there. We're also going to be able to kill off another Cromwell on this left-hand side thanks to the Jagdpanzer. Jagdpanzer now engaged by the 6-pounder. This is where the Cromwell died on this left-hand side. So we're covering that off nicely. The Jagdpanzer doing a good job here with its 130mm of frontal armor. Is going to be able to bounce most shots from Cromwell's and the 6-pounder. Now the Pack 40 again getting juicy shots down this road as the enemy units come in. That's going to force Saethor to unload early, and then we're going to be able to chip those infantry a little bit with our HE rounds. Again, the Streltsy really good in a heavy cover to no cover engagement. So we're going to be moving them to the edge here, and you'll see they absolutely rip these squads. The FO Fusiliers taking damage, the MG42 getting taken down very, very fast thanks to the FG42s and the Brents. And then these Fallschirmjäger with the 2 MG42s and FG42s. Just see how much damage they do. These Fallschirmjäger squads still extremely strong, and whilst you do get less of the FG42 variants these days, they are very, very good to use still. As Cromwell's in a bit of an awkward position for me because it will be covering off our reinforcing road, stopping me from getting infantry to reinforce this area, but so far so good. Spicy's managed to clean up some of the Cromwells on the ridge here, so that's helping us out as well. A Grenadier coming in. They're now engaging my Fallschirmjager. We're going to move up the Streltsy and engage those at range. He's going to need some smoke here or just some fire support if he's going to want to make that work. Meanwhile, Pupshin sneaking up using its 750 meter range to get the kill onto the Cromwell 5 there. Really, really nice indeed. Saethor trying to run away with the second Cromwell 5. Going to be missing the shot though. Pupshin, its accuracy 40% base at max range does miss quite a bit, but we managed to get the second shot on target there, and 2 Cromwell 5s go down nice and easy. Now the Churchill 7 coming in though, and that's going to be difficult for my Sosh group to deal with. So this was sort of fire support I was talking about. Anyway, across the map we're back to 14-14. So things have stabilized a bit for our opponents, but we have got some decent kills early on. That has put us in the lead. Another Fallschirmjäger coming up here to assist. Another Jagdpanzer on each road. Jagdpanzers are really, really good counters to Cromwells. So in this situation, Saethor with the CIABG is going to be having a hard time. We also have the Tigers available later on, which can also be very, very good against the Cromwells. So Saethor here, got to find flanking maneuvers in order to take care of my armor or ambush me with AT guns. So 6-pounder, 17-pounder. Find the side shots with the 6-pounder, 17-pounder can just go straight through the front armor, so that's not so much a problem. Anyway, Fallschirmjäger again proving how good they are, taking care of both the Bojowa Helidka and the Fusiliers in cover. The equipment of the Fallschirmjäger is massively better than both of these, to be honest, so it is to be expected that they should win, and we have the 3 veterancy thanks to the Grenführer, so that's helping out a lot. But more Cromwells coming in on the right hand side. My Pack 40 slowly sneaking up here so that I can help deal with those. Jagdpanzer of course arriving shortly. This Jagdpanzer already on its way up. I've got 2 BF-109 G6 BR-21s in reserve if I need any support versus infantry or AT guns and such. Finally going to decide to move up the Grenadiers here with the MG42, and you can see I am going to replace them. Having a unit in these buildings is very important to maintain control over this flag, especially if the opponents have infantry in this area. So Jagdpanzer now moving up, starting to engage the Cromwell 5s. Doesn't have any veterancy, so the rate of fire is limited. But these Cromwells are not really going to have any penetration value against the Jagdpanzer at this range. That's going to be 1 Cromwell 5 going down. We're going to be looking for the second. Meanwhile, BF-109 G6 BR-21 going to be getting the rockets down to support the Grens in their engagements. Meanwhile, Fallschirmjäger does get taken out, and over here you can see the Chapagier did manage to get their TNT down, so my Sosh troop slowly getting killed off as well. Rockets do go down. BF-109 was trying to get on the back of the Mosquito as well. Gets hit by some decent AA. CIABG does get access to captured Flakfillings, so you do have to be a little bit careful in that regard. But we've chipped the Geniste quite well. Now we just want to take care of these Cromwells. Pack 40 also going to be able to help out. In this case though, just firing at the Geniste. And whilst we have been killing these Cromwells and dealing some damage to the Geniste, we have lost ground. One thing that the CIABG is very good at is sort of overwhelming you with numbers. And the Typhoon coming in here from Holy Grail certainly going to help out as it one-shots my Jagdpanzer. And now we've got the Tempest coming in as well from Holy Grail, the 6th Airborne coming in to assist and certainly dealing a lot of damage in those strikes. So nice little bit of teamwork on the opposing team, certainly holding me back. Bojowa Helidka going to go down to the Sosh troop. Fusilier is finished off by the Jagdpanzer. The left side still pretty well secured, but the difficulty on the left side is there isn't really much for me to gain. I can try and push into this area here, but it's going to be quite difficult for me to do that because I'd have to run across the open here. I might be able to like smoke some infantry into this area, but once the smoke clears, it's quite easy to fire into this town because it's only one line of buildings. Typhoon now coming in from Saethor. to try and hit the Jagdpanzer. This time around though, we do have the SDKF Z72 in position, so that's not going to happen on the left hand side. Also brought in the Flak 36 in the middle to help control this area, not only against enemy aircraft but also against enemy tanks. Both the Jagdpanzer is going to be engaging the 6-pounder here. Whilst I do bring up some infantry reinforcements, we're going to have to kind of stem the tide on this right hand side. Taki has now come through with his Cromwell here, which is not ideal, and my Tiger is just arriving, hopefully able to take care of this, but at the moment dealing with Sathor on the left, Taki's infantry and tanks coming through on my right. It is leaving Spicy in a bit of a predicament here, as he does lose units further down. Pack 40 looking for the kill onto the half track. Would be rather sad if the half track managed to find the kill here. Fallschirmjäger, meanwhile, killing the Geniste, finding themselves in a really good position here where the Geniste are not in range with their flamethrowers and they're caught in light cover whilst my Fallschirmjäger are in heavy cover. So the Fallschirmjäger once again making really short work of enemy infantry, but the number of tanks coming at me is quite oppressive right now. Pack 38 has got work to do if it wants to try and kill a couple of these Cromwell 5s. And it looks like the Cromwell 5s are going to win. I'm just going to be charging headlong forward though with the Tiger and hoping that I can use that to kill these at close range. Risky though, because of course 2 versus 1, the Tiger could get side shot if I'm not too careful, so I'm being aggressive here, and I'm just going to hope that it pays off. Gren's moving over to the right hand side. They don't have any AT, but if I can see where the Cromwells are, the Tiger can have its gun aligned when it moves forwards. But cheeky bombing strikes coming in here from Holy Grail is going to be sort of stunning my Tiger a little bit. Pack 40 actually missing another shot at close range against the Cromwells, so that's not good for me either. And we have lost control over this flag due to the infantry creeping in there from Sathor while I've been dealing with the right hand side. But Holy Grail again coming in with another of his Tempests, and we're just trying to hold on here, not lose too much ground, as our opponents have now moved 15-13 in this game. Focke-Wulf really not lasting very well against the enemy AA. Meanwhile on the right hand side, Jagdpanzer trying to move it up, get it into line of sight of some of these Churchills so that we can kill those off. I've also got this Jagdpanzer moving up through the light cover so that we can kill the Churchills that are stopping me from getting to these buildings. More infantry on the way. We've now got the Fallschirmjäger ZF on the way. This is a new type of Fallschirmjäger that's been added to the game recently. They have 2 MG42s and a sniper, which makes them incredibly oppressive at long to medium range. But one thing that is certainly a problem is at close range, the Fallschirmjägers are really not that good, not compared to the Fallschirmjäger FG42s, because the FG42s can actually be used pretty well at close range as well. This Jagdpanzer though, getting caught out, APCR rounds from the Churchill, doing the job, finds the crew kill, and cleans up my Jagdpanzer. Pupschen trying to stay alive here by running away from enemy infantry, currently running towards the Geniste, going to get it killed. Fallschirmjäger ZF now going to have to try and work their way back in there. Jagdpanzer looking to engage the Churchill 7 at close range, but the shooter knock definitely not helpful there. Sostrup now engaging the Geniste. Geniste did manage to get a little bit of flame down from their flamethrower, but nothing significant. Typhoon, weapon jammed, managed to stop that from using its rockets at least, but we're unlikely to shoot that down. Now ME410 coming in for the bombing strike onto the Churchill 7, and then my ME410 is going to try and chase the Typhoon, but did not turn the right direction initially, so will not be able to get onto the back of it. Jagdpanzer finally finishing off one of the Churchills. Meanwhile, Fallschirmjäger FG42 gets taken out, one of my Starstrup goes down. I need these Fallschirmjäger in here so that I can stop all of this infantry that's charging across the open. But at the moment, definitely under pressure. As you can see, we have kind of managed to deal with a couple of the Cromwells on the right hand side, so this is not as much under threat, and we'll have the Fallschirmjäger that are going to be able to stop units from running across the road so easily. But check out these Fallschirmjäger once again engaging multiple Motorstraße as they come through the light cover. Unfortunately, not really enough numbers for the Fallschirmjäger to be effective here, but otherwise dealing okay with that engagement. Churchill Fort does go down to the Jagdpanzer, and now my Fallschirmjäger are going to work their way through, try and get some more shots on target. Bench mortar going to be going down. Fallschirmjäger moving up. Typhoon did manage to break through here, kill off one of the Tigers on my right flank. But here we go. Fallschirmjäger ZF with their two MG42s and the Kar 98 against two Motorstraße. These have the Commonwealth weapons of the Lee Enfield and the Brenz. They are actually, in this case, going to be enough to pin down the Fallschirmjäger. I'm just hoping that maybe my Fallschirmjäger can stop this Motorstraße first, and it does. So now I'm going to have 3 damage and he's forced to fall back. But meanwhile, 17 pounder did find the ambush onto the my Jagdpanzer. So that's obviously not ideal. Once again, Fallschirmjäger ZF at range. Going to be winning the engagement against the Motorstraße. So now I've got Fallschirm Pioneers coming in. These I think are relatively unchanged from what they were before, in that they have the FG42s, Kar 98s, MG34, and then the grenade. These Fallschirmjäger, though, you can see really struggling at close range as they get surrendered due to the flamethrowers. AB Paras from Holy Grail now showing up on my right side. Now, these are actually pretty difficult to deal with at range because they have the Bren and the Lee Enfield. So they can actually do quite a lot of suppression. Meanwhile, Spitfire going to be flying right overhead of 2 of my SDK Z72s, so that gets shot down. So I managed to finally kill one of the enemy aircraft. On the right hand side, you can see that Jagd has done a really good job of pushing through Holy Grail and getting up onto this hill. Now, it probably didn't help Holy Grail that he spent quite a lot of resources, particularly his aircraft and airstrikes in general, on my side of the map. But Jagd has definitely taken advantage on the right side. Tempest coming in again for more bombing strikes here. It would make sense for Holy Grail to use the airstrikes elsewhere, particularly if Jagd had invested in a lot of AA. I guess in theory, like, he does have the Flak 36 here, a couple of 88s, so probably be less useful to use the Tempests on that side, and instead he's trying to invest them where there is not as much AA. Regardless, Fallschirm Aufklärer now coming in. Going to try and get them into position so that I can see what's coming down this road here. I was trying to get them in onto the left hand side there as well, but here we go with a little bit of a push. The Fallschirmjäger trying to move in on the FO Fusiliers. Fallschirm Pioneer moving towards that flag as well. The Fallschirm Aufklärer now unloaded. Nothing really special about the Fallschirm Aufklärer other than their uniforms. They are just a standard Aufklärer squad otherwise, with 2 MP40s. LG42 now on the way. 2 more Fallschirm Pioneers in the mid. On the left hand side, more of the Fallschirmjäger. And one thing that's really interesting about this sort of gameplay for the Fallschirmjäger now is because these Fallschirmjäger ZFs are 40 points a pop, it's actually very difficult to get value for money, particularly against a division like CIABG, where my 1 infantry squad costs almost as much as his tank. So you can bring in a Cromwell 5 for almost the same cost as my Fallschirmjäger. The other thing to note is that the FFO Fusiliers, for example, are 15 points and can beat a Fallschirmjäger ZF at close range. So yeah, you got to be a bit careful with the Fallschirmjäger infantry. Like, after the changes, the Fallschirmjäger ZF, they are good at range, but I'm not sure if they're quite worth 40 points. The Fallschirmjäger with the FG42s, they're definitely very good. I think that even though it's only cost 35 points, Unfortunately, we don't have any left at this point because I think I've used most of them up. Now on the left-hand side, bringing in some more of the tools of the first Fallschirmjäger, we do get access to a card of Nashorns, and they're going to be rolling in and taking shots at the Cromwell 5 here. Looking to try and snipe and take that out. We do have to be careful, however, of the 17-pounder, of course. Pack 43 also going to be making an appearance as we look for another solution to deal with the enemy Cromwells coming down this road, and the Churchills, of course. We've managed to resecure this area. We're using the Fallschirm Pioneers and Fallschirmjäger and ZF. And now I'm going to be using these Fallschirmjäger to try and secure this area. Then we can put more pressure onto the flag and hopefully push it to a 16-12 instead. Tempest finding the strafe there onto the AT gun in order to finish it off. Spicy's pushes across the open down here really have not ended too well, but it is definitely occupying the attention of our opponents. LG-42 now trying to use its 100mm of heat penetration to kill this Churchill 4. If it can get a side shot, it will pretty much just one shot kill this thing, but unfortunately not landing any shots on target just yet. Russian Pioneer is going to unload there, completely delete the Munderstreltsy. I don't think there was many left in there, but oh, a couple FG-42s on the way. I think maybe more available in phase C, but here we can see the 35-point cost for the FG-42 Fallschirmjäger, and they do have the 2 FG-42s and the 2 MG-42s. So I genuinely think that these are pretty much almost as good, if not better, than the Fallschirmjäger ZF at range. Particularly if you can get the G-43s on target. They're just way better than the ZFs. So I think the ZF's maybe a little bit pricey. And against these like Munderstreltsy, which are only costing like 20 points, getting pinned down by them is not ideal. You got to consider that for the same cost, Sathor can send 2 Munderstreltsy for one of my Fallschirmjäger ZF. So that's the matchup that I'm dealing with every time. The Typhoons once again coming in. This time a mix of Holy Grail and Sathor, hoping to try and shoot them down, but not successful in doing so. I have 4 SDKF Z72s on the map now, and the ACA, so I was hoping that I would find kills more frequently, but not able to do so just yet, just because the enemy planes are so fast and quite durable. But we have managed to take back this flag at least. Fallschirmjäger is now going to be finding Ingenieurs, which are the engineer units of Taki. So just constantly bumping into more and more obstacles that I'm going to have to deal with. But the Fallschirmjäger is here, actually in a good position to potentially take care of the 17-pounder on the right-hand side. At range, we're still going to absolutely obliterate these close-range infantry, so that's okay. Also, my target doesn't have to be worried about them at all, so I'm just using that at close range. Meanwhile, Pack 43 engaging the Churchill 4, and we're going to be taking that out. Fallschirm Pioneers are beating the Munderstreltsy 1v1. I've also managed to sneak some infantry around the left-hand side just to kind of keep pressure on, maybe make him buy some stuff to react to that, so that we can continue our pushes where it really matters. But yeah, this Pack 43 soon going to be in line of sight at the Cromwell 6 and hopefully take care of that. Tiger's also going to be peeking out. That's, however, going to get hit by the 17-pounder of Taki, so we're going to have to try and fall back if we can. But unfortunately, Tiger E going to be going down. LG-42 is going to be firing at it in response. Pack 43 looking for the kill onto the Cromwell 6 is actually going to miss that second shot. So not ideal. Pupshin looking for the kill onto the Crusader AA Mark IIB. Does manage to find it. Now going to be looking for the same onto the Cromwell 7. Having this Pupshin with the Fallschirmjäger here actually super important. Janista versus Pioneers on the left-hand side there. Janista going to get surrendered. Pupshin going to find the kill onto the Cromwell 7. Ingenieurs going to get taken out. On the left-hand side, the Fusiliers have come through here now. But these Fallschirmjäger are going to try and sneak around and engage the 17-pounder with. So we've got decent control again. I'm going to spread out some cheaper infantry just to back up the Fallschirmjäger that I already have in position. I could probably move forwards my SD-72s at this point just to make sure that I don't get deleted by all of the Tempests and Typhoons that have been coming my way throughout the match. But so far so good. Just got to deal with any pesky infantry that are trying to sneak through here. Currently Sathor moving up with the FO Fusiliers. We are going to be able to find a Firefly kill as my Puption did move through and engage this Firefly just off the ridge. The FG-42 Fallschirmjäger is now looking to get on top of the 217 pounds. Another Pack 43 on the way. That's going to be trying to cover off the mid. Meanwhile, these Fallschirmjägers struggling again at close range against the FO Fusiliers. But I do have a 2-vet Fallschirmjäger with the FG-42s coming in. We've got a Tiger on the way there to back us up. These Fallschirmjäger are on top of this 17-pounder, and Zathor hasn't realised, so that's very helpful. These Fallschirmjäger took out a 17-pounder on this side, so we're getting a lot of kills right now, and it's definitely helping us. And considering we have been dealing with units from 3 players for a lot of the game here on this left-hand side, getting so many kills is certainly helping us elsewhere on the map. Like particularly Jagdsource here, who is doing well himself in taking a lot of flags there. The Cromwell 6 is going to be going down. Lots of infantry trying to come in, but once I get these infantry into position, it will be difficult for him to move across the open, particularly if I manage to transport snipe some of them like that. Leader now going to be coming in on the left hand side to make sure these STK Z71s have a bit of extra veterancy. It will certainly help if I have to deal with these Tempests and Typhoons anymore. But here you can see how badly it went for the AB Paras as they tried to push into my position here. No cover to heavy cover engagement. These Fallschirmjäger moving across with the FG-42s at close range are going to be dealing a lot of damage. So those FO Fusiliers going down quickly. These Fallschirmjäger coming over just to provide some extra DPS. And that's going to be the infantry dealt with there. These FO Fusiliers getting caught out in the open. This Fallschirm Pioneer able to get a HE grenade off, so that's going to go down. And now it's just a matter of bringing in some more reinforcements. So I've got 2 more 88s on the way. These will help prevent airstrikes before they land. And the other thing that they're really good for in this situation is just kind of covering all of the routes into my backline, because it's quite easy on this map to kind of break through these different areas of light cover and then flank into your opponent. You've got to be careful that if you do break through, that what's happening right now doesn't happen, where you just run into units further back that can deal with your forces. So Pack 43 going to be engaging the Cromwell 5s as well as the 88s here. We've got another 88 further back that's kind of waiting. Meanwhile, Tigers engaging Churchills down the road, Pioneers engaging the FO Fusiliers on the left. Everything's going very, very nicely for me. Typhoon's trying to come in for the rockets there onto the Tiger, not able to get the shots on target. I'm going to purposefully target this Typhoon, try and shoot it down while the Tiger kills off the Churchill. Everything coming together nicely as the Typhoon does go down now. In 3 minutes 30 left on the clock. What has been a very, very nice game, I think has shown off the sort of weaknesses, potential weaknesses of the Fallschirmjäger now, in that they are pretty expensive and they can be overwhelmed by light units. But at the end of the day, the quality does allow you to take care of subpar units. So in this case, the Fusiliers do get chewed up if you put them in, if you are engaging in the right way. Cromwells can't deal, for example, with my Tigers and Jagdpanzers. The 88's, of course, always going to be good. Pack 43 is able to deal with even heavier armor. LG42 is really good long-range fire support unit. Takes out the flag filling there, going to deal a lot of damage to the AB Paras as well. Tiger's in a bit of a predicament here because the Fusiliers are going to continue to charge it down. But as soon as the Tiger picks up a little bit of speed, I should be fine. And meanwhile, all of my other infantry units are coming over to assist. So we're able to sort of pin down a lot of that stuff. Now the Cromwell's coming round the edge here. A little bit risky for me. On the left-hand side, Nashorn's engaging the Firefly. One of the Cromwells is going to go down. Sathor's bomber does manage to get through and kill the LG-42, but you can see it's now 19-9. As the middle has now broken open, Spicy has started to make ground significantly here. Jagd helping out with some off-map there. And these FO Fusiliers really not having a good time. You can see I did finally bring in the commander. And that's going to try and get in range to provide variety on this Grenfula so we can buff up the Fusiliers a little bit more. Able to find the surrenders there, which is good. We want to do that before the off-map pins us down. And we get a nice bunch of surrenders. SDKs and 7.2s are going to be doing a runner. Do have a Fallschirmpanzer Abwehr on the left-hand side that's going to be trying to come across to scare him off. Or at least, you know, just kill one or two of those. But the Pack 40 and the LG actually also able to cover this. So Cromwell 5 going to be going down there. Fallschirmpanzer Abwehr going to be able to get the Shrek on the other one, and that's taken care of. So a cheeky play there, moving the Cromwells in, but the SDK of Z72s able to get out the way. Meanwhile, rather large tank force here that I'm going to have to deal with. Currently 40 seconds left on the clock. SDK of Z72s are going to be able to take down the Recon Mosquito, which is nice. And I'm going to try and use a BR-21 rocket strike to take out the 17-pounder. Meanwhile, Tiger in a bit of a weird position here because the Crusader AA can actually kill that over time if I'm not too careful. BF-109 is going to get shot down. Meanwhile, Pack 43 engaging the Churchill 5 further back. I did manage to kill off the Crusader AA Mark II. So now the Tiger's in a bit of a better situation, but I think Sathor here, he is a bit worried about me having close range AT, and unfortunately it's the end of the game anyway. So there we have it, a victory after 32 minutes and 44 seconds. In the end, 3,995 kills to 2,105 losses. Very efficient trading, I felt, throughout that game, but due to the divisions that we're up against, they can like spam into it and hold ground regardless. That's what makes the IABG really strong in like 1v1, because no matter like how well you're trading, you still have more units than your opponent, and you can really sort of concentrate those forces on the flags in order to stay in the game. But yeah, in this case, Jagdpanzer doing well, finding really good kills early on. Absolute brick for the Cromwells to deal with. Fallschirm Pioneers trading nicely. The Fallschirmjägers with the FG42s getting multiple kills. Like, this is what you need to do with these Fallschirmjäger units. But the ZFs not paying off too well. I mean, in some cases they're getting 2 kills, but even when you kill 2 FO Fusiliers here with the Fallschirmjäger ZF, that's only 30 points worth of infantry when your infantry costs 40 points. So I'm not even paying them off in those cases. But yeah, fun game, and nice to be able to discuss some of the changes that have happened to the Fallschirmjäger divisions. I'll be looking at more of them in the future, but that's it for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.